Welcome to Going 19. This is episode 42. We are reading the second book of the Dark Tower series called The Drawing of the Three. And today we are covering part 2, The Lady of Shadows and the Reshuffle. My name is Amber. With me are Ed and Allie, and let's start the show.
Woo!
Yay!
Show started. So, pretty sure we're going to start every episode from here on out with me asking Allie what she thought, because that's
Right.
That's fine. Go first.
I definitely still liking this more than the gunslinger. This part was especially interesting with like the differences between Detta and Odetta.
She is a fascinating character, and I like the duality and the the constant tension. Like, you never know when she's going to come back, and when she comes back, you never know what the hell she's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At the end, when she goes missing after Eddie leaves her, it took me a second to realize what happened. I was like, where did she go? How could anything have happened to her? And then I was like, oh crap, I'm just like Eddie.
Oh yeah.
I felt the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, did a cat actually take her? And then I was like, oh wait.
No, she went all 4 special. That was my first thought. It's like, oh, Detta's back. And he left her the gun because he is about the stupidest person on whatever planet they're on.
Planet that only sees one star, apparently.
Yeah, is that old? Never mind. That old mother. Have we gotten there yet?
No.
Yeah, was that the only star in the sky? I remember I'm talking about the star, but I didn't realize.
I noted that because I was like, wait, you only see one star? Is that like because there's pollution or?
Yeah, and when I get to it, I do have a geography question because something didn't add up there. When they were like, I can't remember it, but it was like he was standing at the Western Sea and like turned left to go north. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't work. There was something like that, but I didn't get to it. So
maybe their cardinal directions are all screwy too.
Well, it has to be purpose, right? Because how did that get through a rewrite and editing without doing it? That's not right. So somebody looked at it and said, that's the way I want it to be. So I don't know. I guess their planet. Do we even know the name of their planet? Or we just Gilead?
Well,
I don't think we ever get a planet name, or maybe it's just Earth.
I think.
Earth.
Well, Tull was the town he shot up. Wasn't Gilead where he was from? Where Roland's from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't.
City, not planet.
Maybe it's just other Earth. Of course, we have to have a Kennedy reference as often as we can.
I know. I wrote that down too.
John, well, that is true though. The news was when he got killed. They were calling him the last gunslinger has died. Whatever that means. I don't know if I want my president being a gunslinger.
It really tells you like how important or how pivotal that was in people's lives. Because to me, I'm like, can we move on already?
Well, you're like 2 generations removed. Hell, you were like 10 years old for 9/11. So that's my Kennedy moment. You were even a little bit young for that, I would think. I don't know what you remember, but
you haven't mentioned it in any of the stories I've read so far that you've written.
Say it again.
You haven't mentioned 9/11 in any of the stories that you've written so far that I've read.
Oh no, that's a tough one. You don't want to do that wrong, and I'm not sure what angle to do that from. But there's definitely.
I meant that as a joke, but.
Oh, I know, but now I'm thinking about it that you said that. I've thought about it before. Stephen King, I think, only has one story about that, and I forget which one it's in, and it's like some guy's apartment, and like he would keep finding random objects, and then we tracked down the owner. It was someone that died. Like they kept showing up his apartment or something. And then they would like return them to the relatives. It was, I can't remember. That must have been in, what was the one before Bizarre Bad Dreams? I think was that Everything's Eventual? No, that's too early. No, that's not too early. Anyway, 9/11 is a tough topic. So now that we're way the hell off topic, let's go back to Odetta. How do they have different last names?
Well, because Detta's completely made up, so she made up all her stuff.
So, yeah. Okay. So, Detta, where I have so many questions. How do they not know about each other? How does Andrew not know about her? Odetta lives in the ritzy penthouse. Where is she when she's Odetta?
When she's Detta?
I mean, yeah, when she's Detta. So those are the first 4 questions.
I mean, I don't know that we
Maybe-
know. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, well, maybe she just like stays with people. Like it kind of seems like she roams when she's
Hanging out with
Detta.
them honky mafas.
Possibly, yes. But like if Odetta has been on the cover of magazines and stuff and is apparently like quasi famous, how is it not noticed more that she is like 2 completely different people basically?
Yeah, how's nobody seen her out and about and going, hey, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. That
Well,
seemed a little strange to me.
it is 1963, so there's definitely not the same kind of media coverage.
True.
But she would be recognizable, though. I mean, at least where she, where she lives, they would know who she was. Maybe not if she went to California or something, but
She's
in her.
She's in a wheelchair, so like how she can't really get around by herself that much. I mean, I know she can, but like
That does make her stand out more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I forget, like when I'm reading the Detta parts, I don't think of her in a wheelchair. Like I just think of her like like when they talk about, they did that yet, right? How she's like teasing the guys and stuff like that, and then like kicking them out, effing at them. Like she's in a wheelchair while she's doing, or is she just like sitting in the back seat with her stumps, like messing with them?
Well,
Like,
I didn't like the part in the car. I didn't think that she had been in the accident yet. I thought that was like when she was in high school and still had her legs.
Oh, I thought she really didn't come out till after the accident. Do I have that wrong?
No, she had been there since the brick accident when she was a little girl. She just didn't
But
show
she was
up.
mostly, yeah, she was dormant almost.
I mean, I don't think she said she was dormant. I just think she started showing up a lot more.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't
know. Yeah, maybe she's got the. What? Who threw the brick? Do we know that?
Oh well.
No.
Oh, we don't know if anybody. Wait, they were saying it might have been an accident, right?
Yeah, they made it seem unlikely though.
Well, I don't think bricks just fall off buildings.
They don't like catapult off buildings.
I guess if it was an old crumbling building, I guess maybe.
Also, I was looking for something, but it says here that Detta. Well, again, wait a second. I don't know if this is made up or not, but it says she lived in the loft of a peeling Greenwich Village apartment building. Odetta didn't know about the loft, and Detta didn't know about the penthouse.
Oh wait, she lived where?
How is that possible?
Page 219. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe this is all made up, but Detta. No, I don't know. Yeah, like maybe she's out there like prostituting and thinking that she's staying in a loft and just making that up.
Yeah, it's funny how they each make up stuff to cover the holes in their memories when they're the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Odetta was, what was it? Sorry. She had made up this whole memory where she was trying to eat the lobster and she couldn't keep it down and she kept throwing it up.
Yeah, because from something from her childhood.
That was so sad.
What was this? Wait, what was the thing from her childhood?
She had said that when she was younger, she ate lobster or something, some kind of seafood maybe, and that she had thrown up, and that because of that, like I don't know if she was saying she was allergic or she just couldn't get it down, but she kept trying and it wasn't working.
I thought that was. Wait. No, I thought that was her making up memories to cover the gap when Detta was on the beach.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, what did that have to do with her childhood?
That was what she said. That was the story she made up. Well, maybe it's not made up, but that when she was a kid, lobster made something like that made her throw up, and that's why she was having trouble eating it now.
Oh. So she was relating her made up memory and giving it a reason to something that actually happened when she was a kid.
But it's strange. Like, I don't know if person that like brains can actually work like that, because like, how can you recognize some things and make up pattern, like make up a story for that whole, but not everything else? Like, it's like, so you remember that you didn't eat the lobster, but you don't remember anything else about that other part.
No, she thinks she was eating the lobster and she thinks she was throwing it up.
But I mean, why would the brain only recognize that one thing? Like I don't know. I guess it's
I don't know if it was so much that the brain recognized that she wasn't eating. I think it was her body, like the fact that she felt so weak and so fatigued and like
that's true.
He did
not of her normal strength.
That's a good point.
It was her covering up for being so why her body was so weak, because she couldn't eat anything.
Yeah, and her brain was giving her an excuse as to why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Eddie said that, or Eddie thought that, or something.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Her brain's covered up a lot, like, you know. Well, her brain's the culprit, so I don't trust that thing at all.
Doesn't it feel like there's three people? Like her, it's Odetta, Detta, and her brain.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's like, because the brain's got both halves. Hell, I mean, how many people are in there? We only know about two. Do schizophrenics usually stop at two? I don't know how.
I don't know if schizophrenic necessarily has split personality. I mean, I think
the definition has changed since his book was written.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely is now like a paranoid person, and
right. This is much more like dissociative identity disorder.
Right. That doesn't. No, I like schizophrenic. That works.
As long as it sounds better, let's just go with that.
Like dissociative identity doesn't tell you what's happening. I guess schizophrenic.
I feel like it kind of describes it perfectly.
Disassociate. What a cumbersome way to say it, though.
Because you're disassociating from yourself.
Hence why she doesn't remember the other literal half of her.
Didn't it used to be like multiple personality disorders?
It did.
See, now that tells me exactly what's going on.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I should leave that in or not.
I don't think it matters. The point is, it's now referred to as DID.
Yes, and so I think he definitely calls her schizophrenic at some point, doesn't he?
I think you're right. I don't know why I have that in my head as well.
And there's like a chapter.
I think Eddie mentions it because he's like Roland doesn't know the word, but Eddie's like, this is what I would call schizophrenia.
See, the chapter 1 of, as a matter of fact, the first thing he says is, stripped of jargon, what Adler said was this: the perfect schizophrenic, if there was such a. So yeah. So now it would be the perfect dissociative identic. See, that doesn't work. What do you call a person that has dissociative identity disorder?
What do you mean? Is that a joke?
No, like someone with schizophrenia is a schizophrenic. What's someone with DID?
Why do they have to be identified by their disorder?
They don't have to be all the time, but I'm sure it comes up.
Like somebody who has
Maybe-
depression, and you don't call them
maybe
a
there's like
depression.
maybe they're in a hospital. And
Somebody who has anxiety, you don't call them an anxietic.
I could. Then why do we call them schizophrenics?
We
Anyway.
don't. Just you. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's in the book. I'm not the one doing it. I'm just going by what I'm reading.
I mean, you know, Stephen
1987.
King doesn't always know, or not know, but has, you know, language changes.
Yeah,
Drastically.
Yeah.
it's got some cringeworthy stuff that, you know, I think the first time I read it, didn't even notice. Anyway, I guess back on topic. It's crazy how they don't know. How does Andrew not know about Detta? That doesn't.
Well, that's what I don't get. Is it's like she has a doorman and a driver, and neither of them like see her wheeling out at night and think like, I should do something about that, or I should stop her, or I should question her. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, and none of them have ever met Detta.
do they not know, or did they just kind of let her go off and do her own thing?
Well, he says, so that part where it talks, again, page 219, the only person who suspected something wasn't right was Andrew, the chauffeur. He had been working for her father, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes Detta disappeared. The disappearances might be a matter of hours or of days. So it's like, are you telling me that every time she turns into Detta, she automatically, like, doesn't she, I don't understand. Doesn't she wake up in Odetta's house and think, how the hell did I get here? And like freak out? Or does her brain like have her exit beforehand and then it like switches while she's on the street? You know what I mean? So I don't get it.
That's what I was wondering. At what point does she become Detta? And like you said, if it's not till she gets to her other house, then what is she, like a zombie for like an hour while she's traveling? Or you know, I don't understand.
Or maybe she thinks she's going, like her brain is like, oh, I have an errand to run. Let me go here. And then it's like while she's on the train or whatever. She probably doesn't take the train. I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like she's in the back seat of the car and she flips. Then the driver would have to know the difference, because I imagine when she flips, the first thing she does is she starts yelling at people.
It seems to work out. Yeah, I never thought about that, but it seems to work out awfully convenient for her before she meets them, like when Detta comes or not. Like the fact that it's never caused a problem, or maybe it has and we just don't know about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a trail of tears behind her.
Because I feel like her parents would have had to know.
Right, maybe there's an inside edition on Detta Walker. Like, who's that? I can't remember her name, but there's like an 80-year-old granny, old black lady that steals jewelry. She just, like they followed her for like a year and a half and finally caught her and did this whole thing. And she got like 18 months in jail. And then she got out and started doing it again. She gets arrested like every couple of years for stealing jewelry, and she's still doing it.
They're like, why won't you just die?
Right? Like, you just die already so you can, you know, stop paying 12 security guards? Because like the stuff she's stealing, there's not like the transgressions aren't that bad that they can like do it, put her away for a long time. So it's always, I guess she's not stealing, you know, the $20,000 high end stuff. But it's like, geez, lady, just it's obviously she's doing it for the thrill.
Well,
so
that's a very clear example of jail doesn't just work.
Yes, it does. Punish. It's always and punish them some more, and put some more people in there, and then build it too small and put some more people in there so nobody fits.
As long as you're making more money off of it, who cares?
Yeah, I hate jails are privatized. I don't agree with that. So where the hell were we? We keep wandering on.
It's a little hazy about how this Odetta thing works, but the good news for us is we're not really in her world long enough anyway. So
Yeah, I feel like that was planned, and he was like, there would be too many plot holes if we stayed on Earth. They're just gonna go right to the beach.
I never thought about that. Because
Yeah, it was very frantic.
That's what I commented on. I was like, damn, she had like Eddie, he didn't really have a choice, but Roland made him think he had a choice. He had some time. He had some time to bond with him and see what Roland is like. And with Odetta and Detta, Roland's just like pops in, you're coming with me, like fights to the death to bring her through the door.
Yeah, he even asked Eddie, like, I forget what it was. Basically, stay or go. What are you gonna do? I want it to be your choice, but he was, if I remember right, he was thinking he was gonna take him either way, but he wanted Eddie to think he had a choice or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you have to
Yeah.
question that. Like, what Roland? Of course, he was gonna take him.
Yeah, that's fun. What had he done to instill such horrible loyalty in all those around him? Something like that.
It is kind of karma that he has to deal with Detta, because it's like he can't kill her because he needs her, but she is their biggest threat.
Huge threat, and he doesn't even know what he needs her for. It's like, I need this for this. Wait, what did he say when he's in her head? Snarling pit of vipers or something like that?
About being in a dark room with like a pit of vipers around you or something like that.
Yeah. Like, ooh, don't want to be in that head very long.
Nope.
She was like later on, she remembers him being in there and she couldn't stand it. She felt violated. I guess I would also, if I would probably just drive to the loony bin if someone was in my head and moving my arms.
I wonder if that's, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's partially also her projecting and not wanting to admit that, because didn't Roland see that Odetta and Detta saw each other like when they came through the door? So maybe that's like her being like, no, there's not anybody else in my head. There can't be anybody else in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, and
just for a moment. Go ahead.
She even says later, she's like, I felt violated, but it was strange how familiar it felt when he was in my head, like it had happened before. So like she obviously knows
You're right. I
that
forgot.
something is wrong.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, that's one of them like little Stephen King tidbit things.
So do you think that Odetta, like, what do you think it was that made her finally stop waking them up at night, which was kind of hilarious, by the way.
I felt so bad for them, but yeah, it was kind of funny.
Like, do you think
she got fucking tired herself and fell asleep?
That's probably true, yeah. Because I was like, is it Odetta? I don't think it's Odetta gaining control. I don't think it works like that. But maybe like it's Detta being afraid of recognizing that there is another person in her that could control her at any time, and maybe she should just calm down.
I think it might be. Sorry, go.
I said neither one of them like Roland.
True. But I also think it's like maybe not her recognizing that there still is someone else in her head that could take control at any minute, but also like him talking to her like there was already someone else there, and her just being scared of that. Like maybe it's something that she's always kind of thought and feared, but now it's him confirming it for her.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That was what led me to that thought originally. It was like, whoa, you're talking to like a. That's true. That's why she freaked out. It was like, why are you talking to me like I'm a different person?
Yeah.
He did that to Odetta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was trying to get Odetta to come out.
And she did not like that, but it worked. Something worked. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe she just passed out, but.
Yeah, but he hasn't done that to. Well, no. Why would he want Detta to
come out? Yeah, right. I was thinking it was a little too convenient that she didn't come out when Eddie fell asleep the first time, but then I was like, oh, okay, right. Well, he definitely messed up by trusting her again and leaving her the gun. So there you go, lesson learned.
I think I wrote something like stupidest person in the history of people.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. When he and Odetta finally, did the deed, I was so scared that she was going to come back in the middle of that.
Oh, that would have been cool.
I didn't even
That
think
would have
about
been
that.
so bad.
His what is it? His candlestick or something? His little white candle. I forget what she called it.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god, that would have been like her worst nightmare confirmed. She's always accusing them of doing it or wanting to do it.
Yeah.
He probably didn't want to take that on.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's a reason that Stephen King didn't put that in. But I was just I also wouldn't put it past him.
I was surprised she was Odetta as long as she was. Like I kept waiting for it and waiting for it.
Well, she was dead for a while too.
Yeah, but I mean when Eddie was doing his Olympic training up and down the beach. Like that entire trip up there, she stayed Odetta. Especially when he like went to leave, I figured Odetta would come out just because of the stress. Because they heard that cat or something, and that's why he gave her the gun after she said no. Something was howling right behind her. Like, I feel like Odetta wouldn't be much good in a situation like that.
Yeah, that's true, honestly. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, Odetta was like, oh, no, I couldn't take the gun. Please, no. And Detta just grabs it and hides like a hunter immediately.
I know.
Well, and maybe that's why she came back once Eddie left. She's like, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm unconsciously relinquishing my body to you.
She was scared, yeah.
I'm going to sleep so I can wake up and all this will be over. Like, literally, for her, it will be.
Well, they don't even need to go to sleep for that switch to happen, though.
Has she not like been asleep every time?
No, when it changed, wasn't it when she changed back to Odetta? She like because the headaches are the cue to like when they're gonna change, and then it just kind of like switches. Let me see if I can find it.
I wonder if that's in the original. Since August 19th, 1959. Some 5.5 years before. Part of Odetta Holmes from the knees down. Then as missing as those blank hours and days. So, what? Somebody pushed her, right?
Yes.
What we know, I'm not ever sure what we know sometimes. Yeah, I'm reading the part where, or I'm looking at the part where, like, Odetta comes back after being missing, and Andrew and the driver are like, "Oh my God, she's back!" Well, back like, who was she when she came back? If she was Odetta, was she like, what? Like, oh God, I went on another bender. I don't know what the hell happened last night.
Well, you're talking about, she makes up the stories.
So does she? Okay, so does Odetta know she's been gone for like 3 days or whatever it was?
When?
Doesn't seem like it.
She has no clue, right?
No. Yeah, it's
whatever
like
gaps exist, she just like fills in the blanks.
She makes up stories about her not being nice, but like she's not doing anything to them. Whereas Detta makes up stories where she's doing horrible things to them, and Detta really is. I mean, Detta is the one that's doing things to them.
Yeah,
it's just funny.
Trying anyway. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, but with that, so at the end, like right before the reshuffle. So for me, that's page 318. She says she feels like she's going to get sick. So Detta is saying this. And then she starts screaming, "I broke your plate, you stinking old blue lady." And then she
Oh,
like
yeah.
slumps forward and just, they say, "Christ, she's dead. She's had a stroke and she's dead," Eddie thought. And then she just turns into Odetta.
Yeah, I see it.
So it's not even sleep. I mean, she can change whenever.
Yeah, because Roland stressed her out, basically, right?
Maybe.
I mean, it was Eddie technically that was.
Oh, was it Eddie? That is kind of funny how she just kept screaming every couple of hours. Just making sure you're ready to protect me.
Yeah.
Because he tells it from like Eddie's perspective, and he's happy and dreaming and like yanked out of a deep sleep every time. Because Eddie's the one that's the most tired because he's doing all the work.
Yep.
So like he passes the hell out, and then she starts screaming, and then the one perspective I think was from hers, wasn't it? Where it's like how she was waiting until she could tell that they were like just getting into a deep sleep, and then she woke them
No,
up.
I'm pretty sure Eddie says that too because
Yeah.
it was happening. You could just tell it was happening.
So yeah, I think they moved pretty fast, even for a Stephen King romance.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, this is way too fast.
Like, okay, maybe.
I get that there's no other options, but like he doesn't even try a like will they, won't they. It's just like they will.
Yeah, like let's just get that out of the way because they're gonna be a couple like from here on out. So this isn't about will they or won't they, right?
This is about Ka.
I don't think he knows how to like draw out a romance, do like a courtship or something like that.
Yeah, I think. Well, I
Most
mean,
people don't actually go through that. I mean, it's probably more realistic.
No, I will say I think he does a pretty good job of it in Wizard and Glass once we get there.
Yeah, but we're not.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, she must have. Screen must have timed out.
After 37 minutes?
Well, I don't know.
That's a long time.
Maybe she hit a button.
Lock screen after 37 minutes.
Well, quick, let's talk about Wizard and Glass. Oh my god, it was so awesome.
No, I think he did it, like, at least I loved that story. I mean, I know it's really sad because like she's gonna die, but I fell in.
Hello.
You're back.
Sorry, hi. I forgot this stupid thing times out when my screen dies.
Apparently it takes 37 minutes.
That's what I said. Oh.
That's an interestingly long time for it to time out.
I'm assuming
So,
she means
no, in the first half of the recording, I remember to tap my screen occasionally to keep it alive.
Oh, I just put my lock on never when we do the podcast.
Yeah, my phone doesn't let me do that. I don't know why. It's frustrating.
Well, that's annoying.
Nice.
So we have to talk faster.
No. It's interesting though, when I had the Anchor app, it never timed out. But with the website, it does.
Same here. I don't know. I guess the app, probably like the app can leave it open. I don't know.
Well, that's the same. Like if we're remote, we can go as long as we feel like. But if we're all like in the same room, we have to like start it and stop it again after every hour.
Weird.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
So why did we switch off the app?
Because it was happening.
It wasn't working.
It's timing out or something, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
No, well, for me, it wasn't actually opening the recording. It was just opening the app.
Oh.
I think that's what was happening to me too. Every time I tried to open the link, it like would just take me to the new recording screen. It wouldn't take me to the actual recording.
Yeah, that's what happened with me too.
Maybe you have to create an account or something.
Maybe. Anyway. So he's not the
that's
best
Anchor for all of your podcast needs.
That's what I was thinking.
We use it, and so can you. I've never actually changed that from like the first one I did the first week. So anyway,
not the best romance novelist.
But yeah, what was the last thing you heard, Allie?
Yeah, he does. Well, Amber was saying something about Wizarding Glass.
Yeah, she does that.
It's not like it's a secret that I've read the story. All I said was that I think he tells a good romantic story in Wizarding Glass.
Definitely one of his better moments. Anyway, back to this book.
I don't know exactly where it is, but I wrote down that I think it's hilarious that Odetta is compared to Roland in that she does what needs to be done. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. She's just a lot more violent.
Well,
she did what needed to be done. Roland would have understood.
I don't even know if I can say that she's more violent because, I mean, he took out an entire town.
That's true. He's probably killed a lot more people than she has if she's killed any.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were talking about that earlier, but as far as we know, up to this point, everyone he's ever met is dead. Whether that's his fault or not, I'm not.
Well, it also seems like
except for Eddie and Odetta. I don't know what to call her.
Call her Odetta.
Right? It's like I'm stuttering. It almost feels like it's only a matter of time, like because that's the pattern. Everybody he meets.
Well, Eddie, I think certainly seems to recognize that already, but like I almost feel bad for him because he's just like, yeah, I mean, whatever, this is my life now.
Poor Eddie, yeah.
Well, you kind of forget he really had nothing to live for at the point where they met.
I mean,
well,
soon after Henry died, there was nothing.
Yeah, that I agree with.
So he's probably a lot more willing to go out on a limb because there's nothing for him back there.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, I agree with you, but it's also like you're telling me that it's better to lose everyone you've ever met or known or loved or anything you've ever known in your life it's better to give all that up than to just go on living in a world where you've lost your brother and potentially, I don't know. We already had this conversation last podcast, so. I don't know that he had nothing to live for just because his brother died and because he was a drug dealer.
He didn't seem to have any friends or anybody outside of the eminent.
Yeah, about them.
His family was all dead by that point. I'm sure he maybe had friends, but I don't know that they mattered to him like that.
I feel like he probably would have just OD'd if he went back.
Yeah, that's probably true, honestly, especially after Henry died.
Yeah.
He would have got high as fuck and maybe probably not cared if he OD'd.
In a way, Roland saved his life.
Yeah, so I mean, like that's probably he probably already feels like I should be dead, so who cares what happens?
Yeah. Well, no, he definitely cared because he has a moment of fear when Roland wants him to leave him there. And he's like, you're my only anchor in this weird world that I'm in. You can't leave me.
Well, was that before him and Odetta started doing it?
Well, yeah, that's true.
So I think that might have changed his perspective at least a little bit.
He's so, I love Eddie, but he is just so like wishy-washy. I don't know how else to say it.
He's very.
He's impulsive.
Yes, there you go.
He reacts emotionally.
Yes,
Yes.
emotionally reactive and impulsive is a great way to put it.
Yeah, but that makes him fun for sure.
In a good way.
He's my favorite. I'm pretty sure he's Amber's favorite.
Oh yeah. Well, yes.
I mean, thus far I do like him, but I don't know. There are still more people to meet.
Favorite human, we'll say.
Yeah, that's I knew you were thinking that.
That's an interesting caveat.
Have you seen my bumper sticker?
I don't think
Me?
so.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know what car you drive.
Yeah.
That would
We always go to you.
Oh, I'll show you next time. Well, maybe I'll show you next time. Depends on. I don't know. Let me just stop talking.
Yeah, I was like, if you're not going to tell her what it is, we should move on.
Yeah. So, where the hell are we at? Roland's going through the door. Eddie says he's going to shoot him. Wait.
Yeah, you can tell how non-threatening Eddie really is because Roland, within like 5 minutes, 2 times is like, yeah, sure, go ahead and kill me. I'm not worried.
I know. Not even like a little bit. He's just like, okay, come on.
Or
Let's this out of the way. Like, do what you got to do so I can go and do what we're supposed to be doing.
Like, are you done with your little tantrum now?
Right. Have you had enough? You need to keep going? Then they started talking about her accident. They from the ambulance driver's perspective. It took me a minute to figure out what was going on.
That happened to me when you asked me what part I was at. I was like, I think this is the accident, but I don't really know where we are right now.
Yeah, it's almost like it regressed to the last chapter. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we already do this? The con's called the A Train Old Sparky. There's another Old Sparky in the Green Mile, but it's not a train.
Isn't that why he said con?
Maybe. Oh, well, you know what? The fabled third rail that would have done to her what the state of New York did to the bad guys up at Sing Sing who get a free ride on the fabled A Train. Oh, yeah. He was talking about the same thing. I guess I should have read the whole thing. Or highlighted the whole thing. Yeah, what a ouch.
See, I don't know enough about subways or trains or anything, and I'm like, there's electricity. I guess that's how it runs, right?
I always hear that. I've never actually seen it. You know, you always hear the third rail is electric. Stay away from the third rail, and then you go down there and you're like, it looks just like the other two.
I don't even know if I've seen a subway. I've seen the metro a few times. I don't know if it's the same, but
I've been on DC Metro. I mean, it's a subway.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if subway was like a New York thing or what.
I mean, same thing.
Then the underground train.
Okay.
I think DC is in better shape than New York.
Okay. Well, it's newer, so.
Yeah, they maintain it better. Cleaner.
Sometimes.
True. That being said, I probably haven't been on it in 15 years.
I feel like there's also more, this is off topic, but there's probably more people driving in DC than there are in New York, so it's maybe not used as frequently.
Yeah, I don't drive.
True. Well, in population in New York might be a little smaller than DC because commuters would be coming not by metro.
Yeah.
Oh, they would be taking the Lincoln Tunnel. My favorite tunnel.
Bridge or tunnel?
Well, both. I'd rather take the bridge. Well, in Stephen King's world.
Yeah, have you read The Stand?
No, you ask her this every time.
Well, it comes up a lot. You start doing towers.
No, not yet.
Act like I have some kind of memory retention or something.
I mean, you would think if it's the same question.
Well, now I remember because I got yelled at.
I didn't yell. I politely scolded.
Moment. I wasn't scolding.
There's a scene in The Stand in the Lincoln Tunnel that's horrifying. That's why.
Yes, just imagine doing the Lincoln Tunnel with no electricity.
Yeah, no lights, no power, and the world is dead around you.
And zombies and crazy.
No, thank you. Although that was kind of like Cloverfield.
Is there? Oh yeah, actually, now that you mention it, but even they have the light from the camera, right? Or they have infrared or something. Like
Yeah, some sort, or like a cell phone light or something, some sort of light source.
I love Cloverfield.
Yes.
Did you see the second? Wait, is it the second one? Cloverfield Lane, 10 Cloverfield Lane. That one was interesting.
That was weird because you didn't even realize it was about Cloverfield at first.
Yeah, I don't want to give away secrets. Wait, is it old enough that we can talk about it?
Oh,
it probably, I haven't seen it, but I mean, that's my own thing.
Yeah,
I can't do the, I mean, I know 10 Cloverfield Lane is not like this, but the shaky cam, I can't do too much of.
Yeah, the first one definitely was shaky cam. The second one is not a found footage one.
Yeah.
Think, right? No, it's not. It's definitely not. It's just like a regular movie. Although it might become found footage, first person at the end. Anyway, there we go, wandering off again. 254. He says schizophrenic. I think she might be schizophrenic. George said slowly. I like how the ambulance guys, like in, I don't know, the 4 minutes she's been in the ambulance, know she's schizophrenic, and the people all around her have no idea.
Well, but, I mean, they do. Well, I guess EMTs really wouldn't know as much. So.
Yeah, well, she acted like two different people between, you know, I think she kept passing out and waking up, something like that. And yeah, like the guy's like, I think she might be schizophrenic. It's like, I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. Just a given. And yet, you know, her loved ones. Where's her parents?
Dead?
Are they?
I mean, Dad is definitely dead.
Dad's the one that like made all the money, right? With the dental something or other.
Yeah. And I think Mom is dead.
I don't know that I've heard anything about Mom. I feel like I heard a little bit about Dad. But I don't remember. Ah, it's interesting. Maybe she doesn't have people around her.
Except for the driver and the doorman.
Right? Are those her closest friends? That's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine this is another, like, whoever is picking these people out for Roland is picking people who don't have a lot of connections.
Yeah.
A lot going for him.
Like the outcasts of society.
I don't know that I would say Odetta didn't have a lot going for her. I mean, she at least had money. Like, she could have just made another life.
Right. I mean, but not, that would be like professionally, but personally, she didn't.
Yes, I agree. And I can see, you know, I'm willing to whatever, go with it. But still, like, that's at least a lot more unfair. She just plucked out of her life, wakes up in Roland's world, and has no choice about that.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I didn't think about it that way. Like, she went from, you know, the belle of the ball to sleeping in a desert. and without any time to think about it.
And yet she's still so empathetic and nice that she's concerned about Roland dying. And I'm like, I feel like this is a little like you're laying in too much with the niceness.
Is it Odetta that didn't she didn't want to touch something because it was Roland that Eddie had
Yeah, she didn't want to touch the gun.
But she got over that real fast. I mean,
right?
Because
Yeah,
then
Odetta called him. That's the really, really bad man in like capital letters, I think.
Yeah.
She don't like Roland in any way, shape, or form. I wonder. I guess I guess so. She doesn't really see Eddie as dangerous, but she sees Roland as dangerous. That's why she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
I mean that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It turns out she's exactly right. So. I don't even that whole scene where she actually says she doesn't want it, and he forces it on her. It's like,
yeah, I thought that was weird because she like gives him a whole reason, and I was like, oh, it makes sense to me. And then like it's like another cat scream, and he's like, nah, fuck that, take it anyway. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, thank God she's not gonna have the gun because that would be stupid. And then like 4 sentences later, like, God damn it, she has the gun. Why would you do that? Just, I mean, hell, just because you had sex with her, jeez. Although he says he loves her because that happened.
Yeah. He falls in love very quickly, apparently.
Yeah, well, maybe he didn't know he was in a Stephen King book. That's a thing. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. How do you fall in love with someone that is possibly going to kill you the second you turn your back?
Well, he loved Henry, didn't he?
Yeah, but I feel like Henry would not hurt him physically on purpose. Emotionally, he would, and did.
Yeah.
But Henry almost had his back in his own great sage in a minute junkie way.
I don't think he really did though. I think he would not have protected him. Like if it came down to Henry or Eddie, Henry would have thrown Eddie to save himself.
That's true. It was Eddie trying to save Henry, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the first time he had to save Henry.
I also thought that was like a great moment when Eddie was like, what did he ask Roland? I don't think I wrote it down, but he asked him like, when he says, aren't you going to tell me to grow up now? And Roland's like, you have grown up. Now let's go. Come on.
Yeah, Roland's already like thinking that he could be a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Well, and I think at this point, Roland's also considering like, hey, I might actually die. And if anyone's going to take my place, Eddie's here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so what's wrong with him? He never got rid of the monstrosity infection? Didn't he get a bunch of antibiotics from Balazar and he was getting better and then all of a sudden he wasn't?
Yeah, I just think it wasn't enough. I mean, like normally you take antibiotics for like 10 or more days.
Yeah, they say
And
that.
he only had 7.
I always keep a couple just in case for next time. But I have to wait for them to like give me the prescription.
You're really quiet.
Sorry. I said I always save a couple for next time, so next time I need it, I don't have to wait. I mainly did that because I used to have to get antibiotics for my teeth because they would always get infected.
Aren't you supposed to take the whole dosage though? Like, what if you're not?
I mean, you're supposed to.
I'm not going to miss like 1 or 2. Or I mean, if it's still a thing, I would keep taking them, but it usually works itself out before you get to the end.
Yeah, that's what Roland thought too.
Yeah. So that's what happened, right? He just still infected from the stupid thing that ate his hand.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think he got infected because he had an open wound on the beach, and who knows? Or do you think it was an infection from the lobster? I didn't really put it that way. I guess it doesn't matter, but
Well, I didn't mean
Um,
that necessarily. I meant from the bite.
right, right.
could be both, because I mean, the reaction of both Roland and Odetta is like, I'm not gonna eat that thing. It's poison.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that doesn't
Oh,
mean it was.
I just put that together. Maybe that's why Odetta makes up the story about her not being able to eat it or her throwing up every time, is because like Detta sees it as poison.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Doesn't really matter.
It's funny how she went through the door in her wheelchair, and like the wheelchair barely fit through the door. Like whoever was, picking the people didn't think that part through. Should have, made the door just a little bit wider. Wheelchair accessible, man. What kind of place is this?
Well, I hope for their sake that whoever they pick up next is in a more modern time period so they can change out her wheelchair.
I know, right? Can we go at least to like Eddie's world and get something a little better than? I don't even know what a wheelchair looked like in 1963, but I can't imagine it was super awesome.
We said it was like at least 50 pounds, right?
Yeah, it was a heavy behemoth. Yeah, and how was he pushing that thing on sand? Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
was getting tired just thinking about that. And he's been doing it for like a week straight. Well, maybe not that long, but 3 or 4 days. And no wonder he passes out when he falls until she starts screaming. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I don't know. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, but Odetta's like, whatever. She's kind of boring and innocent. But I like Odetta. She's got a lot of personality. You never know what she's going to do.
I like Detta, but I don't like reading from her perspective because it's so chaotic.
Yeah.
I don't like the way she talks necessarily. It is chaotic. Yeah, like I feel like I got screamed at after I read her parts.
And like obviously he meant it to be that way, but like everything is so angry and fearful.
Yeah.
It just definitely puts you in that mindset reading hers.
Yeah.
It's almost the same emotion.
Like I don't like reading. I said that I don't like reading from her perspective, but I love the things that she does because she's funny.
Yeah, I don't like the way she talks necessarily. It's almost exhausting to read her talking.
Yeah.
When Roland was like, I can only understand 1 out of every 10 words.
Yeah. Do you know what's going on? Because woof.
It's like like imagine a baby yelling at you like that can't speak English yet, and you're like, what are you so angry about?
Wait, say it again.
Well, it'd be more like a toddler. Like imagine a toddler that's yelling at you, but they can't speak yet, and so it's just like, why are you so mad?
Yeah, well, that's almost the words that come out are almost like a toddler. They're not real words. Says Eddie will be all right now. His brother is dead, but he has someone else to take care of. So Eddie will be all right now.
Yeah, it's codependent.
Right. So I mean, it definitely was Eddie taking care of Henry for sure. By show for special. I don't know where he got the lingo from. Did he like research like 1960s jargon?
What lingo?
The way Detta talks.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really notice. You said Detta? Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like did they walk around calling people honky motherfuckers, and I feel like honky was like a '60s thing, maybe.
I don't know.
I think I remember that when I was little, but not much after that. Probably shouldn't go down that line of thought. He seems the most vivid of all. It's funny. I don't know what that means. Like he's the most there.
What are you talking about?
268 at the bottom. And you remember that the dreams were vivid, as vivid as this place, and you, Eddie, and him.
Oh,
He seems the most vivid of all.
I forgot she thought it was a dream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is Odetta. I thought. Wait, did I go past Odetta already? How do they know? I don't know. It seemed like a big risk to just start walking and hope there was a door up there. But, I mean.
Well, he was told there were doors, so yeah.
Right. So yeah, the Man in Black's never done them wrong.
Right.
I think it's his fault he's dying. You could have told me about the lobstrosities.
That would have been hilarious if there was no third door and they just all died.
He's like, it's only going to be 2 books after all. Like he does or has been known to do. Like, just stop reading here if you want. You could do that, and everything will be cool. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Then I got Eddie and her, I guess, falling in love. Yeah, like stop calling me black. She doesn't. I guess that's not. I forget what she said. That's not what they said back then, apparently, or he made that up. I have no idea. I'm just going from shit to that. But basically, I mean, she gets. So yeah, there is a door after all, and Eddie has to make 3 trips, 1 to it, and he gives her the stupid gun because he's the stupidest person in this stupid world. Sure. She was pointing it at Roland when.
Oh. No, wait. Oh, when they were sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
When he and Eddie came back with the water skins, she was sleeping. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Detta's pointing the gun at Eddie, and Roland's got one eye open watching him. Where he's like, "Well, he could have stopped it, but then Eddie wouldn't have learned anything."
He's not wrong because he didn't learn anything.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like, yeah, well, that didn't work. What other? God, she's evil, this one, and she's legless, but she's a gunslinger. As sure as Eddie is one. So they're both gunslingers already. You've known them like 10 minutes.
Yeah, a gunslinger is like a passion, not a title.
Right? I mean, he thinks everybody's a gunslinger. Probably thought he called the stewardess or the pilot or somebody some kind of. Oh no, he was trying to call him a cop, but he didn't. I forget what word he used. Yeah, when you're the last gunslinger, you're always trying to make new gunslingers.
And also like these are the people that were chosen for him, so of course he's gonna say like he's probably just trying to convince himself.
Right? Yeah, like they better be gunslingers or we're fucked. Get a bunch of Shimis out there and you might have problems. Although, never mind. Wait, we met Shimi, right? Yeah, he was in Tull, right?
No.
Fuck.
Who?
That was Sheb.
Sheb was in Tull. I can't keep them 2 apart. Never mind. Odetta Holmes was somewhere inside that screaming, screeching thing. I love that. All they have to do is get her out. It's funny how they just like I don't know how to say it. Automatically cover when you're trying to force her to confront herself or her other self. She just clams up and like covers up, and it's like she knows there's something there, and she wants nothing to do with it. I don't know if it's
that's almost
conscious or subconscious or
that's
somewhere
where
in between.
the analogy of her being three people, I think, really comes into play, because that's like the brain is stepping in here and being like, oh, whoa, hold on there, and like, nobody needs to know what's going on.
Right. Wait. Yeah. What are we talking about? Oh, no. We can deflect, ignore.
Yeah,
We're not
it's
going
like the
down
Wizard
that
at Oz, like, don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Don't look behind you. The old Sodom and Gomorrah. Wait. Yeah. Or no, Lot's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Bible references. The gunslinger wanted to comfort him, could not commit such a sacrilege. He remembered Jake too well and walked off in the dark with his new fever burning. So, wow.
Is he saying he doesn't want to get close to Eddie because Eddie is gonna have to die?
I think that's exactly what
He's like, I better
he's not
comfort
going to
him.
comfort him because he's just a fucking pawn for the tower, and why get to know him when he's just going to die?
Yeah.
Rough.
He's been a really likable guy up to this point. Yeah, I mean, if like that was all I had read, I mean, what is wrong with this guy?
A lot, seems like.
What's the deal with the damn tower? What is it so important? He doesn't even know why it's important. He says, I'm walking here. Well, you can come with me for a while.
I just have to keep walking.
Yeah. Well, I keep walking. You can come with me for a while, and you're probably going to die, but, it's up to you. So Eddie goes back and gets Roland. So Roland went in a chair too, right? That wheelchair actually is an upgrade because he was made some stupid thing and he was dragging Roland up the beach before that. Like, I couldn't.
True.
That was making me really tired. I couldn't even imagine. I think Mr. Author was taking some liberties with Eddie's ability to actually do that.
I was thinking that too. Especially when it was like he got back to Roland in like what, a day, and then took him. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense because Roland is so much more weight, but still, I'm just like, whatever. I know this isn't the point. I'm just gonna move on.
Right. He's like, let's go. I left her a gun, and so we should hurry up and get back.
And then it's 3 days later. I'm like, I didn't realize it was gonna take that long.
Yeah, because he kept falling asleep because he was so damn tired. I like how he gets back and Roland's like, you gave her the gun, and he's like, I just fucking ran my ass down here for you, dragged her up the beach, and that's what you're worried, and that's all. What do you say? That's what you have to say to me? And Roland's like, I said the only thing that mattered.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, oh, that's such the difference between the two of them right there. Because I feel like Eddie was posturing. He was like, all the shit I did for you. I was like, oh, come on, you know you fucked up.
You knew it was wrong. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, forgetting the fact that like you're giving her a weapon, this is his like super important ancient gun that you just gave to her. Like
That's a good point. I didn't even thought of that. This is a fucking line of eld and sandalwood grips and something else. The big guns with the sandalwood grips. Yeah, they were given to him for beating court, right? Aren't this his like reward guns for becoming a gunslinger?
Yeah, I think so.
Eddie's just like, here, I don't want it.
All in the name of love.
Eddie is horrible at that, or great at it, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Yeah. So I mean, he gets rolling. They come up the beach. Yeah, after like 3 days, because he's like, I'm gonna leave right now. And we're like, no, go to sleep. And he like promptly like passes out for about 4 hours, I think. And then they go for a little while. Then he passes out again for another couple hours. So I can't imagine how tired he would have been, or just even attempting. I just keep thinking of the wheelchair in the sand, and I'm like, no, there is no way.
Yeah.
Even if it's like hard pack, although it is what is it, gray sand? Like, what a horrible beach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the beach and it's drab and gray. And like, now I hate my life. I feel like it takes some of the joy out of it.
I don't really think they're there to have fun.
Well, right. I guess not,
In fact,
but you know.
Like one of them had no choice. The other one also had no choice. So, and I guess the third one kind of had no choice.
Right. The other three had no choice. Even the brain didn't see that one coming.
Oh, I just meant Eddie and Odetta, and Roland, if you follow his logic.
Oh, well, now we're up to 4 people. Wait. Yeah. Oh, wait, Odetta is one person? Odetta?
I was counting her as one person, yeah. But you can say 5 if that works.
You say Eddie, Roland, and the brain. She offered her bone-chilling sickle of a grin again. Like, that's awesome. I love that. Because there's a couple times where she smiles at them, and it's either her eyes or her smile, and it's just like sinister as hell.
Yeah.
Ooh. She's like an awesome antagonist.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because we haven't had anybody really go back and forth like this with them yet. Like the Man in Black wasn't, they just kind of followed him, and
he was almost more mythic. Like that meeting kind of felt anticlimactic. Nothing really happened, and technically told about 3 doors on a beach and then fell asleep for 10 years. I mean, he was going to the beach with or without Walter. How did he know he's going the right direction? He's like, I'm just going to the tower. Like, okay, so where's the tower?
I think I don't know. I told him, wait, no, he fell asleep on the beach, so he just had to walk this.
He walked till he ran out of land.
Well, I was going to say,
basically.
Yeah, I assume he just walked along the beach then, like parallel.
Well, after he got to the, and then he went up the beach. But how did he even know he was going the right way?
He was
how
on
did he
the
know
beach
walking before he got to the beach? He had, when he was just walking here.
Well, I don't remember, because the gunslinger is when he got to the beach, so I don't remember how he got there.
He walked through the desert, through the mountains, the slow mutants, back to the beach, I think, or back to the desert.
I remember all of that. I mean, the actual. You mean like the whole time in the gunslinger? No, because he was following the Man in Black.
I'm just saying, how does he know he's going in the right direction? Like he's going to the tower.
How did he get to the beach?
I don't think he does necessarily. I think he just running on instinct.
Well, he was following. Wait, what are you talking about? How does
he was following?
He was following.
Yeah.
And then
don't go to the beach.
I'm pretty sure he was at the beach with him. Hold on.
No, he was like still in the mountains, I thought.
Yeah, so did I.
Because he had just gotten out of literally out of the mountain where he let Jake die.
Yeah, it was like right after that. Anyway,
okay, so
I was just wondering how he knows he's going the right way.
The Man in Black told him. Here it is. The Man in Black told him to go to the sea, which lay no more than 20 easy miles to the west, where he would be invested with the power of drawing.
Well, that solves that. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's doing what the man in black's telling him. So I don't even remember why I asked that question now. So he goes, I guess basically because it's geography. So then he goes to the edge of the Western Sea and turns left to go north. Can't. Topsy-turvy world he's in. Eddie, wait, I just had it back there. When she wakes him up, he's awake at once, ready for anything. Some king lobster arisen from the deep to take revenge for its slain children. I can picture the king lobster. Mr. Crab. Okay. Then he gets rolling, and they come up, and it's like the reshuffle. Already was in the reshuffle. Then we have this, how does it end? The Mexican standoff, right? Oh, there it is. Right. Eddie looked to the right, west, with rising unease. Okay. So if I'm west is not to the right. Right.
It could be.
Yeah, I guess it depends on which way you're facing.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I guess I read that differently. There was a couple like that. I remember two guys talking about the bunch of geography stuff and the fun stuff.
I just think it's well, that's what I was gonna say, is that not about the geography of the doors, but that the last door has the pusher and not death, as you would have assumed.
Yeah, like did we know what the third door said before Roland was looking at it? Or did we find out after he was looking at it?
After.
No, we knew it was 2 words, but Eddie didn't say what they were.
Yes, I was surprised that it said the pusher, because that's like, my mind goes to like a drug reference, and I think Eddie did that too. Pusher. I mean, they write songs about those people.
Yeah, he was like, all these years being a junkie, and now I'm the pusher.
Yeah. Well, there is. I don't know what to say, so I'm not gonna say anything.
I know. I'm thinking the exact same thing. It's hard to.
What do you think of the pusher?
Well, Eddie has now been a pusher in 2 ways, like the drug reference, but he also literally pushed Odetta down the beach and Roland down the beach.
I didn't even think about that.
That's awesome.
But it's also not referencing him, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Maybe it's related to Eddie something. No, if he's the pusher, yeah, he can't be a pusher, but I like what you did there.
Is it maybe it's his drug dealer or something? But I feel like introducing drugs back into Eddie's life is not the direction this is going.
Yeah, there's a part where I thought he was over it, and then all of a sudden he starts thinking about the door, and he's like, "There's smack on the other side of that door." Got that part. But maybe it hasn't been as long as like it seems like it is, at least when I'm reading it. It feels like they've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. Probably only been like 3 days. Well, that was more than that, 'cause it took them 3 days to go get rolling. Yes, that was my first thought. If It's Eddie's drug dealer. Now, whether he gets the drugs from the pusher or not, which seems highly unlikely to me. I don't think Roland's gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
That Roland's the ultimate drug counselor. That part of your life. But he can't stop him from being stupid, so might as well try to boom and argue with lover. I love that. That's Eddie right there.
Yep.
He doesn't make rational decisions, and now he's like, sober for the first time in how many years? So he's actually, I don't know how to say it, able to think about things, and still making stupid decisions. Didn't help him at all being sober. Now, maybe if he was still high, he wouldn't have done that. Anyway, so they come back to the door, and for your precious tower, Eddie sneered. Yeah, he's doing it already. My precious tower and your precious health, the gunslinger said. Oh, not to mention your precious life. I can't shoot you, Eddie, but I think you changed. It's like wasting a bullet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You could have just told him.
Yeah, well, telling him doesn't really do a whole lot, but neither did the bullet. He was that's supposed to shock him into going, oh my God, she could really shoot me.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't, that whole part was a little confusing, and I was like, okay, whatever. Point is, you're in trouble.
Yeah, then Eddie starts acting weird. Like, well, you could have held back one shell you knew was live. Why would Roland do? I guess he's so in love that he doesn't want to see the truth, and now in his head he's accusing Roland of just doing dumb shit that he knows isn't true.
Yeah.
For his tower, his goddamn tower. Yeah, Eddie hates the tower already. Yeah,
I feel like that'll get worse.
Yeah.
Right?
It barely started.
I mean, he's doing a lot of work for something he doesn't hate, I gotta tell you. I think at this point, I'll be like, okay, when that door opens, I'm going back to New York, and I don't give a fuck what year it is. And y'all can peace out. But both of them adapt quite willingly and quite quickly. So I guess it's just we have to get past that. So yeah, they didn't want to be here, but now they're here, and that's the way it is. Next. Roland looked back at Eddie, his blue bull shooter's eyes gleaming. That one before. It doesn't look like Bombardier, but it should be. Last thing I wrote before the pusher was Eddie's so stupid he's in love with a schizo, which I guess would be just so. What do you guys got? Anything?
I think that's
Kind of trailing off for the last like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like the one thing that we talked about that you mentioned was just that Eddie, after Eddie's shuffle, like things felt very wrapped up nicely, whereas after the reshuffle, after Odetta's section, it's like, oh my God, like nothing feels resolved. Everything is like, what is gonna happen now?
Yeah, it's worse than when it started.
Yeah.
Dead is up. I mean, Dead is up.
Yeah, it was really hard for me to stop reading this time. I wanted to keep going.
Oh, nice. I like it.
And so it begins. Yeah.
The next book's like one of my favorite. Well, I guess they're all my favorite.
Yeah.
3 and 7 are my absolute favorites. All the 4s, pretty good too. Okay. What's the last one called? Final show. That doesn't know. I guess that means it's going to be resolved, right?
The pusher.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
the final. Oh! I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Final shuffle.
So, wow, end of book 2 already. I feel like we just started.
Yeah, I feel like we're going through these faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost too fast. Like, whoa, let's talk about it some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I'm kind of glad. This isn't my favorite for reasons that we'll get into at some other point. When we get there. So I'm glad. I'm glad we're about to be done with this one. We can start getting into like the oh no, not yet. I was gonna say after this. Been introduced and we've met everyone. And okay, now let's get into the meat of the story. But there's still some other meeting to go on at the beginning of the next book.
Yeah, I forgot that doesn't happen until later.
Yeah, that's actually.
Well, okay.
So we're 2 podcasts away from talking about that. So, I think Allie, we figured out that after. Wait, Amber, when did you read Low Men in Yellow Coats? After 4? Right after 5. Right.
Crap, no, I
Get
don't
Hearts in
remember.
Atlantis, because we're going to cover Low Men in Yellow Coats for one of the podcasts, which is the Dark Tower story.
I'm pretty sure because number 8, I forgot what it's called. The short
Wind Through the Keyhole.
Wind Through the Keyhole. That is in between 4 and 5, right?
Right. That's 4.5.
So I'm pretty sure Low Men in Yellow Coats is. I think you had me read it
After Wind Through the Keyhole.
I don't remember when we first meet. Is it?
See, that feels like it's too late.
I don't remember.
All right. Probably after Wind Through the Keyhole, but we'll figure it out when we get closer. I'll have to ask Lord Google what order to read them.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think. And so anyway, get that because it's going to come up and there's.
Yeah. I mean, I have most of the stuff at this point, so.
Do you have Hearts in Atlantis?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, do you have the stand?
Yes, actually.
Right. All right. I guess we'll. So 2 weeks from now is what day? Or well, 2 weeks from.
The 2nd of October is 2 Sundays from now.
Is everybody good?
Yeah, that should be good for me.
Yep.
Good. We have the 8th, Amber. But
yeah.
The 2nd's one of my weeks off. So okay, we'll do the end of drawing of the 3. I have to say that when you like pick up the book and you see drawing of the 3, there's an expectation there that he did not go in that direction that I was expecting him to go even a little bit. So I was pleasantly surprised by the way the book went because it wasn't what I was expecting. So, but I can't really say more than that until next time. So end the podcast. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.